No,
No,
but
I read it. It was interesting.
No, I
very
sent you
interested
the,
information.
the information
I
for you to have an idea because
I never read this author. I,
claro,
I I know it, but I never.
yes, he's famous because, as you saw, he was nominated for the Nobel Prize on different opportunities.
22 times.
Yes, like Borges,
22
more or less.
times.
Eh, and
And did he win it?
sorry, Vane, what did you say?
Can you hear me or
Yes,
not?
Yes.
yes.
Yes, perfectly.
Ah, no, porque
Eh,
me parece que estos auriculares no andan. Pero, did he win any
no, no,
Nobel?
no, no,
No,
no.
no.
He was, that's why I said like Borges, because he was
Ah,
nominated.
Yes, he was nominated and nominated, but yes.
And he was a member of the same group as Virginia Woolf, the Bloomsbury
Yes,
group. So that's
yes,
why I thought it was interesting because in Mrs. Dalloway, we saw an aspect of India because
yes.
they talked about India quite a lot, no, in the novel. And it was something that Virginia Woolf was worried about. That's why she included the topic of India in Mrs. Dalloway. And now this writer takes the topic, I mean, full, yes. And the way in which
Do
he
you know
writes,
something about his personal life?
well, yes, he was a homosexual. I don't know
Ah,
if
I thought that. Yes.
he was a homosexual, but he, of course, he could never say
At
so.
that time,
Imagine,
well,
imagine. Uh, and the book that was published after his death was
Maurice,
about
Maurice.
Maurice. Maurice was about a homosexual relationship or
Ah,
but
yes, yes.
it was published after his death. No,
Mm.
he lived alone at in the university. You know, like other important writers, because we know many of them who lived in universities. No, in England, and
In Cambridge, and he went to the King's College. It's a college that my my son and my Dante is at the King's College.
claro, yes,
oh.
yes, it is a very important school there. Yes,
Yes,
yes, and well, uh,
And he was very critical of the educational system.
yes,
in
yes, but you see
yes,
that,
but not the King's College. He was very critical about the the education of his primary school
Yes, in Kent.
in Kent. Yes,
and you know that many writers of that time, nowadays, I don't know, were very critical, well, like Roald Dahl. When you read Roald Dahl,
yes.
Matilda and
Matilda.
¿cómo es? The House of Chocolate House. I never remember the name. Eh,
Uh,
¿Cómo
Willy
es?
Wonka,
Charlie. Claro, Charlie
Willy
and the Chocolate
Wonka.
Charlie and the
House.
Chocolate
I was
Factory.
reading this tale to
Yeah.
Elena.
And claro,
Willy Wonka and the
and the
chocolate
Chocolate House.
house and the chocolate house.
But all these novels by Roald Dahl are critical of the education he received.
Yes,
I mean, they are for children. Perhaps the criticism is not so clear for children, but when an adult reads the novels, you see the criticism. Yes.
yeah.
And well, Foster too. Well, many of them. Yes. I was thinking of this other writer, Lewis. You remember Lewis, the one who wrote
Narnia.
¿cómo?
The Chronicles of Narnia.
The Chronicles of Narnia. He also lived in the university. I think he also lived in Cambridge, and he was also critical of the type of education children received, especially children. Yes, primary school, what we call primary school. So Foster is a member of this group. He does not write like Virginia Woolf. He does not use stream of consciousness. He's a more classical writer, we can say.
Yes, traditional.
More traditional in his writing, but all the same, the topics he deals with are very controversial. Yes, because the way in which he situates himself is very critical of the English attitude towards the Indians. Yes. And so that's why it is interesting, because he was in India, he lived there for some years, and so he knew the people. No?
Yes.
Yes, Malena, you were going to ask something?
No, he went to India twice, between
Yes, twice.
1912 and 1913, and then in 1921.
21.
Yes, but I think that it was not such a long period.
No, just 1 year.
Yes,
Yes. And the independence of India was in 1940, no,
47.
47.
1947, yes.
So we can see how the situation was at this time, when you will see that the germ of the insatisfaction or revolution, or whatever you want to call it, was already there, no?
Yes.
In
It took
1924.
Yes, in 1924, it was already there. And at the same time, we saw in Virginia Woolf, in Mrs. Dalloway, what Peter said about it. Yes, when he came back and he said about India, etc., no? And this idea that you remember the old lady who said, oh, India, because for
Yeah.
her it was the imperial idea, no? That
But
yes, because India was the crown of the jewel. We always remember that, no? La joya de la corona. Okay.
yeah.
Yes.
In what sense is it the jewel? In the
Claro,
sense
because
of
when the British conquered India, in fact, the Malena can, I'm sure, can explain this better. But in India, there was a government of a company, a private company, an English private company, and things were going wrong. So the monarchy decided to take over, and so they became the owners of all the plantations and the lands in India, and they became the owners. And for them, England was already an empire. This was
right.
during Victoria's kingdom. But with India, England became the greatest empire. Yes, the biggest
right.
one. And so they said that India was the crown of the jewel, como que, viste, completó como la frutilla del postre, más o
Sí,
menos.
sí,
Claro.
I understand.
That is the idea. Well,
In the
But
information that you
nowadays
said,
they have they maintain a very close relationship with India.
of
In
course,
Oxford, in Cambridge, there are a lot of Indian
a lot,
people.
a lot.
A lot.
A lot of Indian people live in United
In
Kingdom.
England, a lot.
Yes. Yes, the connection is very close, of course.
Yes.
And they
probably because in terms of the citizenship, many of them became British when they were part of the empire. So perhaps their children could also have the British citizenship. I don't
probably,
know.
yes, probably. Yes, the education, for instance, Mahatma Gandhi was educated in England.
Educated in England.
He
Yes.
studied law in England, yes.
Most of
England.
them are educated in India.
Yes.
Yes. Although,
Your edition is older than mine.
which one? I know
Yours.
this one, the one on PDF, claro, pero en
Your
papel
edition,
tengo
yes.
otra. En papel tengo otra.
Okay.
Esta es la que conseguí para leer en
Para
clase, pero en
la
papel tengo la misma que vos.
PDF.
Claro, and then something interesting is that although there are a lot of Indian people in the United Kingdom, the English never accepted them completely. They are not well seen. For instance, even now, you know that I love detective series, no? And in all the English detective series, there is one policeman who is Indian. I don't know if you've noticed that.
No.
No,
No, a policeman, no, but
siempre
I
ponen
think that
un
at that moment, England is one of the less people who reject Indians or people is okay in England. They told me, no, in Spanish they say no. Here people is racist. It's true. Catalan is
no,
terrible.
of course.
But in England, no.
But there are always, if you pay attention, there is always one policeman, a woman or a man of Indian accent. And there is always some comment about the Indian idea, ¿no? Como que, viste que son más oscuros, ¿sabes?
Yes.
O
But
sea,
there are professors at the university.
of
A lot
course,
of
there are a
Indians.
lot. There are a lot, of course, of course. Well,
Maybe the Indian high class, who is in the Indian high class, who is in England, they didn't work as a policeman.
no. Policemen are not high class. No, not at all. Not at all. No, but well, it is interesting that the division, the idea that they are not completely English is still there, no?
Yes, they are.
Physically they are easily identified. Indian people are easily identified. Mm.
It's like what this man that I included in my thesis when I talked about Sir Gawain. This man that you also read in Baba.
Baba,
He
yes.
said, talking about colonialism and things like that, he said that they were almost the same. Yeah, the same, but not quite. So
Yes,
not
yes.
they
Almost
belong
the
to the
same,
empire,
almost.
but they are not English.
Yes.
So,
Yes, there is always this little difference, we can say, no?
right.
Especially because Indian people, people who come from Indian families and are born in England, they have the language. Of course, their language is English. They have the culture, the habits, etc., the clothes, but their appearance, their physical appearance is different.
It's different.
Yes.
Yes.
So they belong to different races, and that is that is clear.
Well, but that's true, no?
That
Yes.
is true. That is true. But what I mean is that they are easily identified. For instance,
Yes.
an Argentinian, your grandson, Alicia, Dante. Dante is educated at the King's College, for instance, and he can become an Englishman completely. Nobody will say you come from an Argentinian
But the King's
family.
College, they have a lot of Japanese children.
Yes, of course.
Of Chinese people, a lot. And he is the only blonde.
Claro, él va a ser el único inglés.
Yeah.
Y es argentino, que va, bueno, no es argentino, pero bueno.
Sí, es argentino. Es argentino, italiano y británico.
Bueno, bien. Well,
Británico because he was born there.
He was born there,
And
that's why I
No,
said
my daughter is British too.
your daughter is British.
Claro.
Okay.
Yes. No, it's British because they live more than 80 years and well.
That's why.
She had the nationality, she had the
Yeah,
citizenship.
she got
Yes.
it. Okay. I have a question in relation to the information that you sent. Now I can't find it, but it says something about the Mediterranean civilization.
Yes, this is what Foster was trying to, let's say, show or highlight, yes, the question of the Mediterranean civilization, meaning the countries,
Greco-romana.
la greco-romana, a eso
Yes.
se refiere, ¿sí?
Yes.
A kind of resurrection, let's say, this is what he tried of the original, yes, culture in a way. Yes, that's why I said that he, in the way he writes, he is more traditional.
Yeah.
Yeah. He doesn't go for the new things like Virginia Woolf.
And also there was he had some tradition from the Romantics.
Yes, well, and this is very British, no? This question of bringing back the Romantics and the view of the countryside, etc. But remember that Foster didn't like nature at its own. He wanted nature with civilization, which is a new thing, let's say. Not exactly like Wordsworth, for instance. Yes, not like Wordsworth, not like Byron, but in a way, this idea, this romantic idea of the beauty of nature and the great extents of nature and the colors and all that is present
This
in
is
Foster.
very British, no?
Very British. That is
Very
very
British.
British. Yes, completely. Yes, that's why Foster was was nominated for the Nobel Prize, because he is a representation of British literature. More than Virginia Woolf, or more than, well, of course, more than James Joyce, who was Irish, because he was British, a representative of Cambridge. You know what I mean? He was very British. Like Borges was very very porteño, because in fact Borges was not Argentinian, he was porteño, no? The same type of idea, and unfortunately he wasn't given the Nobel Prize. Well, and unfortunately Borges neither. Because everybody quotes Borges. You know that the new the woman who won the Nobel Prize last year, the Japanese woman. No, Japanese?
Begins
No,
mentioning Borges.
Korean, ¿no? ¿Cómo, Tere?
The woman who won, the first line is he mentions Borges.
Exactly, sí. I don't remember the name because it's a Korean name, so of course I never remember these names. But I read that the novel she wrote about, yes, about.
Did you read it?
Yes,
It's okay?
I read it, yes.
Do you like it?
Yes, yes.
La de las raíces.
¿Cómo era que se llamaba? La vegetariana.
La vegetariana.
La vegetariana o algo así, un nombre así.
Yes.
Bueno, but she starts with Borges.
Yes, that's true.
At the very beginning. And she admires Borges a lot. And a lot of writers speak about Borges all the time. So he should have been a Nobel Prize. Yes. Malena, what are you looking for? No, I can't hear you because you are silenced.
Yes, I will put the name of the writer in the chat, because it's very difficult to
No, that's why I never remember. Yes,
No.
I don't remember the name, but I read the novel. Yes.
Yes, me too, but I don't like any, more or less. It was not, I don't know.
I am not, o
For
sea,
a Nobel Prize, well, we have to read all the novels,
yes, all her
more
work,
than one.
all her work. Yes, for me it wasn't. I mean, it was okay.
Yes,
it was interesting.
Okay.
It was interesting, but probably one has to see it in the context of the Korean culture.
Yes, maybe.
Because for Koreans, I imagine that she was a kind of revolutionary, no? Because she divorced, and all the things she does. Well, I imagine that is the idea. A ver, Han Kang. Thank you, Malena.
Como King Kong, Han Kang.
But, well, of course, this year they said that they were going to nominate Schweblin, for instance. The Argentinian writer Schweblin. I don't know if you read her work.
No.
I read a lot of things by Schweblin, an Argentinian writer, but she lives in England, I think. She doesn't live here, but she is Argentinian. And well, I find her very, very interesting, but I don't know if she's for a Nobel Prize.
Yes.
Claro. Have you read